Hey everybody, Sean Holsinger from holsingersflyshop.com. Bringing you another soft hackle pattern. This one's a little bit different. Usually when you think of soft hackles, you think of mayfly patterns and some different things like that. But this one is a caddis that I swing as a wet fly. Got a little bit of hackle on it to make it look leggy, and a wing case there with some Antron. So it's a really cool looking pattern. It's a great one to swing. In our area, there's a lot of caddis. This would be a good one. You know, you could swing during the granums. You might want to darken it up a little bit, you know, change your dubbing around a little. But just good searching pattern. We have a ton of granums. A ton of caddis in our area. And I like to have a caddis on a lot of times. So this would be a good one for you. Anyhow, here you see the fly in the vise and the material list to tie it. Okay, here you see this caddis pattern in the vise, and let's get into tying it. It's not that hard of a tie. For the hook, we're going to use the Firehole 3/16 in a size 12. You could tie it in a 14 would be good too. You could tie it in a 10 if you really wanted to. For thread, I'm going to use some 70 Denier Olive. I'm just going to start it on here and break the thread off, and then I'm going to wrap it back towards the bend here. Next thing I'm going to put on is a piece of Krystal flash. This is lime green Krystal flash, so pretty cool color, pretty bright. And we're just going to give this caddis pattern a little bit of attitude, I guess you would say. So I'm going to take one piece of it, fold it in half, and stick the two strands out the back, kind of to make a tail here. And we're just going to get it wrapped on, and then I'm going to wrap it back, and I'm going to take the other half of it here and I'm going to wrap it back too. And that's going to be the rib on our fly. So wrap this back around the bend of the hook a little bit to give us that caddis curve to it, and we're just going to cover the hook a little bit. Now, I'm going to take some dubbing. For dubbing, we're going to use some Dragonfly Olive from SLF. This is from Whitlocks Dubbing Blends box. I use this a lot. I love this stuff. And we're just going to dub it on here now. I want to make it... Caddis are thick. I guess thicker than some other insects, but they're still not overly thick. So, we want to make it natural looking. I want to keep it a little bit bigger than the hook shank. I want to do more than, you know how I say I normally like to change the color of the thread? I want to do a little bit more than that. But I don't want to make it overly thick. There you go. So, next thing we're going to do is we're going to take this piece that we had hanging back here, and I'm just going to make a nice flashy rib out of it. Both pieces, there's two of them there together, so it's going to make it a little bit wider. Just make sure it shows up, that's nice. And then we're going to tie it off. And you see there, I'm about a third of the way from the hook eye back on the fly. So that's the size we want to build our head. Next thing I'm going to use is a piece of partridge skin. And I want to go with a shorter one. I'm trying to find a smaller one here that I like. Oh, here's one. I don't want this to be overpowering, but this is going to make the legs on the fly. So we're going to take it and peel back the fluff on the bottom like I usually do. Come in here and pinch the tips and pull back the fibers of the hair. Pull back. There, that looks a little bit better. You see there how I pinched the tip down and I pulled the rest of the fibers back. I'm going to tie it in by that tip. And I don't want this to be too overpowering. That's why I'm using these smaller feathers up towards the head. And we're just going to wrap it down. But it needs to look like it's leggy, you know, to give it that leggy effect. So we're going to put our hackle pliers on here, make a couple wraps, and as we wrap, we're going to pull back on these so they lay back like they should. And there we go. We're just going to tie that off quick. Alright, and then just clean it up, make sure all my fibers go back like that. Alright, next thing I'm going to do is use a little bit of Antron. This is tan Antron. You can use whatever color you want there. I like the tan or cream. I'm just going to cut a little piece of it off. It doesn't take much. And what I'm going to do is, you see how I got it cut off on the end there? I'm just going to take and kind of uneven it a little bit. Pull a couple of the fibers out, different lengths. Sorry about my fingers being in the way, but I don't want it to be so even and blocky. Another way to do it is to trim it here is this way. I'll put it on long like this, and I'll tie it down, and I'm going to double it back over so I get a little bit of width to it. Alright, now I want this about the same length as the hackle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and just trim off little pieces at a time. Kind of give it like a haircut. And you see there it's different lengths, but it's not overpoweringly long. Okay, you see how I got a nice little wing case going there. And the last thing we're going to do is put some red fox squirrel Thorax from SLF Whitlocks dubbing blends again. And we're just going to put a little bit up there. And that's going to be the head of our fly. So dub that on. Wrap it just back over that a little bit. And you see how I kind of made it the same thickness there. I didn't go overboard on the head. And we're just going to whip finish it off. Alright, I'm going to make like two good whip finishes on this. You can head cement it if you want to. I'm not going to. I got 2 good knots on there. It'll hold. Last thing I want to do is I want to grab this tail back here, and I want to shorten it up and trim it off to length. And just split them tail fibers there so it looks nice and good. And that is all that's to this soft tackle caddis. So nice easy pattern to tie, and it's a good looking bug. Okay guys, I hope you liked that fly. It wasn't hard to tie, pretty quick one actually. You know, 5-6 minutes, and I'm talking through it. If I wasn't talking, I could hammer them out a lot faster. So, you know, tie a couple, get onto it, and you'll fly through these. And it makes a nice looking pattern. Like I said, swing it as a wet fly, put a little weight under it. You could even nymph it. If you put a little, you know, some .015 or something like that lead underneath it, just enough to get it down there. Even put a bead head on it. A bead head wouldn't be a bad idea either. And, you know, you'll catch fish on this pattern for sure. So, really cool pattern. Have fun fishing it. And like always, you can get down in the description to see the materials to tie it. And get the links to the material on our website. Or you can just log on to holsingersflyshop.com if you want to purchase that way and find it all yourself. So, thanks for watching, everybody. And I hope you enjoy this episode. Give me a thumbs up and leave a comment for me. I like to reply to the comments. So thanks for watching again, and I'll see you next time.